What is the very first thing a hacker does before touching a single keyboard? Most say scanning or hacking tools. Wrong. The answer is so simple, you will surprised. I will reveal it in a moment. But first, let's understand why professional hackers never skip this step. Stick with me until the end because the answer changes how you see cybersecurity forever. It's a ethical hacking disclaimer. This video serves educational purpose only. It does not promote illegal activities. Viewers are responsible for any misuse of information related to ethical hacking, cybersecurity awareness. Hello guys, welcome to Blackbird YouTube channel, and today we will start the secret blueprint hackers never want you to know. The hackers methodology. Then start. Close your eyes for a second and imagine a hacker. Are you picturing hooded figure in a dark room, typing seriously, furiously? That's Hollywood. That the truth, professional hackers follow a calm, almost boring step-by-step methodology. But methodology is the so powerful that can break almost any system if system executed perfectly. Today I am going to show you that blueprint, and by the end you will understand why the first phase is most dangerous. Here's the question that most people get wrong. What is the very first thing a hacker does before touching a single keyboard? Most say scanning or hacking tools. Wrong. The answer is so simple, you will surprised. I will reveal it in a moment. But first, let's understand why professional hackers never skip this step. Stick with me until the end because the answer changes how you see cybersecurity forever. Everything I'm about to teach comes directly from the TryHackMe room called Hackers Methodology. Room ID Hackers Methodology. TryHackMe is an interactive platform where you practical ethical hacking legally. This room is special because it lets off exact six-phase process and used by real penetration tester. You don't need to be a genius, you just need to follow the flow. And right now, and you and I are agree going to walk through every single phase. Ready? Let's start with phase 1. Phase 1 is reconnaissance, and here's the secret. The hackers does not interact with the target during the phase 0 direct contact. Why? Because the waste information is public. Think about it. Google, LinkedIn, Wikipedia, Quiz, and Hunter.io. These are gold mines. For example, if you target is SpaceX, I can find their CEO and email format, their subdomain, even their tech stack without ever sending a single packet to the server. That's the power. Listen carefully. Reconnaissance is boring, but it decides everything. If you skip it, you are guessing. If you do it well, you know exactly where to strike. Think of it like a heist movie. The team spends 80% of the time watching the target, learning guard shift, camera angles, entry points. Hacking is the same. The TryHackMe room say reconnaissance is the single most important phase. Without good recon, your exploitation will fail, and that's the fact. Let's talk tools. First, Google Dorking. That's the using special search operators to find vulnerabilities. For example, in titles colon index of password. This is finds directory that accidentally exposed password files. Sounds crazy, right? But it's legal because it's public. The TryHackMe room even has a separate room called just Google Docking. I had made this simple video of Google Docking full explanation also. You can watch it. A hacker's best friend is not a custom script, it's a Google. Sit with for a second. Other recon tools like Subregister, it lists all subdomains of domain like admin.xspacex.com, dev.spacex.com. Why does that matter? Because subdomains are often less protected. Hunter.io finds email address associated with a domain. Built with .com tells you exactly what technology a website runs, Apache, Nginx, or WordPress version number. Yes, remember, the more you know, the more attack surface you discover. And TryHackMe question asks, what does sublister 3R list subdomain? Easy. Now, the TryHackMe rooms ask, who is the CEO of SpaceX? A Google search or Wikipedia tell us Elon Musk. That's recon. Simple, legal, no hacking. That's the point. The first phase does not need to be complex. It's just need to be through. Now we have gathered intel. What's next? We actually start touching the target. That's phase 2. Phase 2 is enumeration and scanning. Now the hacker actively interact with the target via knowing on every digital door to see which ones are open. Tools like Nmaps come in. Nmap scan for open ports, running service, operating system, even service version. Why version? Because if I know your FTP server is version 3.2.1, I can search for non-exploit for that exact version. This is where the attack surface becomes a real attack plan. Nmap is legendary. It can tell you what ports are open, what service is running, HTTP, FTP, and SSH and other, what version, and even guess the operating system. For example, nmap-sv-o target.com, the -sv grab version, -o guess the OS. The track will provide video link to understand ports. I had made this topic video also, you can watch it. Without nmap you are blind. With it you see every crack in the wall. And remember, scanning without permission is illegal. Always get authorization. But Nmap is not alone. Dove and Ghoster find hidden directory of website. Even see a site like tesla.com slash model 3. That's the directory. Hackers brute force common names like admin slash backup slash hidden. Enum for Linux is for Windows network. It finds shares, users, and misconfiguration. Suit can intercept web traffic to see what data is sent. Metasploit has enumeration model. Each tool answer one question: what can I attack here? The more tools, the sharper your map. TryHackMe asks, what does enumeration help to determine about the target? The answer, the attack surface. That's mean all possible entry point, open ports, vulnerable service, hidden directories. Enumeration turns a fuzzy target into a list of specific weakness. Without it, exploitation is just guessing. With it, you have a sniper's map. Now let's move to the phase everyone thinks is the main event, gaining access. Phase 3, gaining access. This is what movies show. The exploit, the payload, the I am in moment. But here's the truth, gaining access is often anticlimactic. If your recon and enumeration were good, you might just type as default password like admin colon admin and you are inside. Or you run a Metasploit module that works automatically. The glamour is fake. The glamour is fake. The real magic happened earlier. Still, the phase is where you get your first foothold. The primary exploitation tool, Metasploit, it has hundreds of pre-built exploits. You just point at it at a vulnerability and fire. MSF Venom creates custom payloads, malicious codes that give you control. BEF focus on browser-based attack. But remember, the TryHackMe room warns never jump into exploitation without proper scan or recon. Metasploit was developed by Rapid7 and Websuit. That's why boards figure. Knowing the companies behind tools have helps in job interview too. Here's the kicker, gaining access usually gives you low privilege. You are like a guest user. You can look around but not touch the important step. You want administrator or window or root on Linux. That's the real price, and that's the required privilege exit escalation. Phase 4. So even after you get in, this game is not over. In fact, it's just getting interesting. Let me show you why escalation changing changes everything. Privilege escalation is how you go from guest to god. On the window, you want administrator or system. On Linux, you want root. How ways crack password hashes you find on the system. Find a vulnerable service that runs as a root, reuse discovered credential password spraying, and find SSH keys and that let you jump into another machine. Or run the famous Linux command find slash hyphen perm hyphen 4000 hyphen type f2 greater than slash dev slash null to find binary that run with root privilege. This is the deep hacking. This is where mystery mastery show. One subtle but powerful escalation method SSH key. If you find a private SSH key file ID slash RSA on a privileged account, you might use it to log is in as another user or event root without knowing any password. That's why TryHackMe asks what thing related to SSH could allow to log into another machine without password. The answer: private SSH key. Keep that in your back pocket. It works surprisingly often. Phase 5 is covering track. In movies, hackers delete logs, hide process, plant backdoor, but here's the ethically reality. Professional penetration testers rarely cover tracks. Why? Because they have signed permission. The client knows the test is happening. So instead of hiding, the tester document everything and help clean up. TryHackMe room explicitly say I will not talk about covering track tools. They want you to focus on reporting or not hiding. That's the difference between a criminal and a professional. The final phase reporting. This is where you write down everything, every vulnerability. It's critically how you found it and how to fix it. Without a report, your work is useless to the client. Report can be a simple vulnerability list, a finding summary, or full no, formal document. The TryHackMe room links into a simple report from TCM Security. A good reports include finding names, description, criticality, and remediation recommendation. That last one is the key. You must tell them how to fix it. Let me give a concrete example from the TryHackMe room. Finding SQL injection in the ID. Parameter criticality. Critical description. A payload of 1 or 1 equal 1 allowed viewing all database records including username and password. Remediation. Use parameters queries or prepared statement that the professional finding. Notice it's clear, actionable, and non-technical enough for a manager to understand. That's your goal, not to show off, to communicate. The waste hackers are also waste writers. The TryHackMe asks, what would we type the reporting that involves a full documentation of all finding within a formal document? Answer: full format report and extra things you must provide beyond finding name, description, and criticality recommendation of remediation. If you remember and nothing else, remember that. Now let's step back and see the whole picture. Here's why I made you wait. Because methodology beat talent every single time. A genius who jumped straight to exploitation will fail. A disciplined beginner who follow recon, enumeration, gaining access, escalate report will success. That's the secret. That's the what TryHackMe room teaches. And now you know the full cycle. From Google Dorking to writing a professional report, you are not just a script anymore. You are understand the blueprint, and understanding is the first real step into cybersecurity. Remember the first question, what is the first phase of the hacker's methodology? Answer is Reconnaissance, and the CEO of SpaceX, Elon Musk. You have learned Sublister, Google Dorking, Nmap, Metasploit, privilege escalation, and reporting. You have earned the right to call yourself a methodology follower. Now go practice on TryHackMe. Your mission, go to TryHackMe, join the Hackers Methodology room for free, and answer the all questions while attack box is running. Practice each phase, don't rush. Spend 45 minutes with me. I will practically do it. The room's estimate time. And when you finish, try the Google Docking Room next. This is your journey. You have just finished the map. Now walk the path. Thank you for staying curious and until the end. That's patience, that's the hacker's mindset. Okay, we will we will start the hackers methodology hack me lab and practical way. So opening the methodology outlines, we know the six process of the hacking: reconnaissance, enumeration, scanning access, privilege escalation, covering tracks, and reporting. What's the first question? What is the first phase of hackers methodology? We know the reconnaissance. I had told you already that, and check. Yes, it's right. And reconnaissance all about collecting information, gathering about target. This is reconnaissance. We know the SpaceX, what is Google, and these are tools. I had told you already that. And what? Who is the CEO of SpaceX? We know the Elon Musk. And do some research into tool Sublister. What does it list? It's so many subdomains. We know already that. And what is called when you use Google look for specific vulnerability to research or to research specific topic of interest. We know this is a Google Dorking. And now let's go to third, which is enumeration or scanning. Second phase of hackers methodology is scanning and enumeration. Okay, Nmap is for used in scanning. We know Devastator, Metasploit, websuit also. What does enumeration help to determine about the target? Its answer is its answer is, well, do some reconnaissance about the tools Metasploit, which company developed it. We know the its answer is Rapid 7. And what company developed the technology behind the websuit? We know Foursquare. Enumeration help to determine about the target. We know, I think its answer is information gathering, but it is not fit here. Let's go about exploitation, and we know already all of this, and we have to answer only the questions. What is the one of primary exploitation tools that penetrator use? It's a burp suit. Its answer is Metasploit. And go to 5 challenge. In the window world, the target account is usually administrator or system. In the Linux world, the target is usually root, which is privileged use. And in this question, in window, what is usually the other target account beside administrator? In the window, what is usually the other target account beside administrator? It's a system. And what thing related to SSH could allow you to log in another machine even without knowing the username or password? This is root. What thing related to SSH even knowing the username? Its answer, I think. Okay, its answer is SSH keys. So we have to write only keys. And let's go about covering tracks. We know the covering tracks is not for ethical hacker. Mm, Talks challenge 7 is for more interesting finding or vulnerability critically of finding. This is the report of scanning or detail of reporting any vulnerabilities. Start time, finish time, scan time, profile, responsive true, server banner, it's Apache, server OS, Unix, server technology, and criticality level 3 high. This is the report. And now we have to answer the what would be the type of the report that involve a full documentation of all finding within formal documents. We have to answer this. Okay, it's you can search this question on Gemini or ChatGPT to solve it. I had no idea of this question's answer. So let's meet with next video. Thank you.